Are you going to follow along today?
Meow.
Did you give me my
Meow.
clipboard, my purple book? Oh, my one? Oh, hi everyone. I hope you guys are having a good day. Today we're going to be reading Matthew chapter 17, verses 10 through 27, Psalm 22, verses 1 through 18, and Proverbs chapter 5, verses 7 through 14. Thank you. Just sit down. Is my lipstick smeared? No? Okay. So Matthew today will be talking about Jesus heals a demon-possessed boy. Jesus predicts his death a second time. And the temple tax. Sit down. Behave. You sit down. I'll make you read. Then behave. Then behave. The disciples asked him, "Why then do the teachers of the law say?" Go ahead and do what you're doing. Put rattle in your bag. The one you got in your hand.
Go ahead.
The disciples asked him, "Why then do the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first?" Jesus replied, "To be sure Elijah comes and will restore all things. But I tell you, Elijah has already come, and they did not recognize him." He's speaking of John the Baptist. "But have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer at their hands." Then the disciples understood that he was talking to them about John the Baptist. Can you give me a minute? When they came to the crowd, a man approached Jesus and knelt before him. "Lord, have mercy on my son," he said. "He has seizures and is suffering greatly. He often falls into the fire or into the water. I brought him to your disciples, but they could not heal him." "You unbelieving and perverse generation," Jesus replied. Thank you. "Reverse generation," Jesus replied. "How long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy here to me." Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and he was healed at that moment. The poor boy. But Jesus got him out. But you're thinking probably, when I first read it, everybody first reads it, you're thinking, well, why couldn't the disciples get the demon out? Jesus sent them to, do that stuff, get the demons out of people and, heal people and all that to help people. But I would think, well, they just didn't have strong enough faith to get him out. Well, we'll see what Jesus says. Then the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked, "Why couldn't we drive it out?" He replied, "Because you have so little faith. Truly, I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed," and if you've been watching the videos, you know how small that is. If you remember Sherman and I showing you our mustard seeds, the teeny tiny like that is a mustard seed. Very teeny tiny, but when it is planted, it is the biggest of the garden plants. It grows into like a tree that the birds nest in, make their nests in. Beautiful. Okay, you can say to this mountain, "Move from here to there," and it will move. Nothing will be impossible to you Nothing will be impossible for you. When they came together in Galilee, he said to them, the Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men. They will kill him, and on the third day he will be raised to life. And the disciples were filled with grief. You know, Jesus, he was a man, he was a human here on this earth, just like we are. He had feelings, he had hurts, his body hurt, he had every sensation we have. So did he. He experienced everything on earth like we did, like we do. So you know, you can tell when you read the Bible, especially when you read it several times, you can tell that when the time grows closer here, like when Jesus told them that, and it's closer, like the night it happens, that they come and get him, that he's really nervous, you know, and he's kind of nervous and scared about it. He's worried, you know, because who wouldn't be, knowing that's going to happen to them, you know, and what it's going to be like, because it's going to be scary and it's going to be painful. And he could have stopped that at any moment. He could have told God our Father, God his Father, that he don't want to do it. And God would have took him back home in an instant. The angels would have took him right up to heaven. But no, he did it for us. He went on through his fear. Kept his faith and went on through his fear for us. To have all that stuff happen to him. Not just to be crucified, but to be spit on, mocked, laughed at, beat mercifully with a whip. And they just didn't use leather whips back then. Some of them things had metal hook-like things on the whips that tore your skin off. They had all kinds of different ones, awful ones. Some had like razor things on them. They were horrible looking ones they had. I don't know what one they used on Jesus, but he was all bloody. And they punched him. They put a big crown of thorns on his head, the big thorns. They done all kinds of things to him. They stripped him of his clothes and put like a purple robe on him to mock him. Then they took that off of him, you know. And he was thirsty. And they tried to give him vinegar to drink instead of water. You know, trying to be hateful. Thought they were funny. And he did it for us. How many people would do that for someone? Okay. Sorry, I just had to tell you that. Just, and you know, Jesus was a man down here too. He has feelings, and you know, you could feel it in your heart that he was sad and getting scared too. You know, he was, and you could feel it in his heart for him, because he kept going up on that mountainside to pray and pray and pray the night that it was going to happen. After Jesus and his disciples arrived in Capernaum, the collectors of the 2 drachma temple tax came to Peter and asked, and this is a good one, "Doesn't your teacher pay the temple tax?" "Yes, he does," he replied. Jesus followed the laws. When Peter came into the house, Jesus was the first to speak, because Jesus knew what they had asked Peter before Peter even came in to tell him, because, like I told you guys, Jesus knows everyone's thoughts, and he knows what's in everyone's heart. And Jesus said, as soon as Simon walked in, "What do you think, Simon?" he asked. "From whom do the kings of the earth collect duty and taxes? From their own children or from others?" From others, Peter answered. Then the children are exempt, Jesus said to him. But so that we may not cause offense, go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch and open its mouth, and you will find a 4 drachma coin. Take it and give it to them for my tax and yours. And Peter threw out his line, caught the fish, opened its mouth, and found the money, and took it and paid them. Crazy, isn't it? Always trying to get Jesus on something. But they can't. They cannot stand it. They cannot stand it. They had to turn one of Jesus' own against him to get Jesus. With lies. Had people make up lies on Jesus. I'm sure we know where those people are today. And wishing they hadn't. I even feel sad for them. Because I hate for anybody to be down there. I wish they would have repented. Or not have done that at all. I wish everybody would repent and come to the Lord. And change their ways and be good like Jesus. I don't want to see nobody in hell. Not even my worst enemy. And neither does our Father or our brother Jesus. They want everybody to go to heaven. You guys, Psalm 22, verses 1 through 18. We're going to read 18 verses of it today. For the director of music, to the tune of The Doe of the Morning, a Psalm of David. Get up there. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me, so far from my cries of anguish? My God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer. By night, but I find no rest. Yet you are enthroned as the Holy One. You are the one Israel praises. In you our ancestors put their trust. They trusted and you delivered them. To you they cried out and were saved. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. But I am a worm and not a man, scorned by everyone, despised by the people. Stop it. All who see me mock me. They hurl insults, shaking their heads. He trusts in the Lord, they say. Let the Lord rescue him. Let him deliver him, since he delights in him. Yet you brought me out of the womb. You made me trust in you, even at my mother's breast. From birth I was cast on you. From my mother's womb you have been my God. Do not be far from me, for trouble is near, and there is no one to help. Many bulls surround me. Strong bulls of Bashan encircle me. Roaring lions that tear their prey open their mouths wide against me. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart has turned to wax. It has melted within me. My mouth is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth. You lay me in the dust of death. Dogs surround me. A pack of villains encircles me. They pierce my hands and my feet. All my bones are on display. Who's this sound like? Keep listening. People stare and gloat over me. They divide my clothes among them and cast lots for my garment. That's where we're stopping. Now, who does that sound like? Sounds like Jesus. Let me read that last part again and tell me if this does not sound like what happens to Jesus. Dogs surround me. A pack of villains encircles me. The guards and all the teachers of the law, the people that wanted to see Jesus crucified, all of them surrounding him. They pierced my hands and my feet. They nailed his hands and his feet to the cross. All my bones are on display. They could see all these bones, sticking out because he took all his clothes off pretty much. People stare over me. They was all staring and watching him, loving to see him up there. They divide my clothes among them and cast lots for my garment. They did. Exactly what the guards did. They divided up his clothes and they cast lots for Jesus' garment. Exactly what they done. This is about Jesus. Alright, guys. So that is where we're stopping with that psalm for today. And now we are moving on to Proverbs chapter 5, verses 7 through 14. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others, and your dignity to one who is cruel. Lest strangers feast on your wealth, and your toil enrich the house of another. At the end of your life you will groan. When your flesh and body spent, you will say, how I hated discipline, how my heart spurned correction. I would not obey my teachers or turn my ear to my instructors, and I was soon in serious trouble in the assembly of God's people. And that's where we're stopping today with Proverbs chapter 5. Alright guys, let me go down the prayer request real quick. Okay, please keep the following people in prayer. Rhonda Karshner, Sherm, Cindy and Jim Welsh, Layla and her son Emil, Abby Myers, Jimmy Myers, Danette Rager, Dora Carper, Elizabeth Jeffries, Lonnie Doles, Wendy and Jason White, Dean Deddy, Claire Dempsey, Evan Dempsey, I heard they are doing better, great news there, Chris Caldwell, Jason Dempsey, Carl and Julie Betts, I heard they're doing better as well, so that's good. And the GoFundMe for Jason and Wendy, their house burnt to the ground, their GoFundMe page, if you feel it in your heart, you want to donate to them, is Jason and Wendy White Lost Home to House Fire. And it is by Lacey Bishop under Accidents and Emergencies on GoFundMe.com. It's a picture of Jason and Wendy. Wendy's got dark hair and glasses. And then her husband's standing like kind of behind her a little bit to the side. It looks like he's got brown hair. Let's see. And please keep the Betty Graham's family in your prayers and the Burt family in your prayers, because they have lost loved ones. Alright guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye guys. God bless.